Welcome to the world famous Dutch and Denver podcast. No one's canceled us yet. I'm back. Nobody else is here. Thank Christ. I'm hot tonight. There is so much to cover, and I'm not even sure where to start. It's probably gonna make a lot of people mad. Um, I don't know. I guess let's fire away. So, in New York, Cuomo or whatever the fuck his name is has been accused by a second woman of sexual harassment and still has a job and still is alive. I just think about this for a minute. If this guy was not a psychotic Democrat, he would have been tarred, feathered, and crucified already. He would have been canceled like that. I mean, think about it. Who's the chick in the Star Wars thing? Kind of cute. I mean, kind of hot. The brunette who literally just said things that were true, just stated facts, and she was gone like that. We got Como, who is molested two people that we know of. Trust me, more will come out. The second woman is super credible. I guess she has like videos, emails, timeline, everything. And all he does is an apology that's like, hey, sorry if you misconstrued what I did is sexual harassment. Okay. I mean, he's fine. And he'll get off scot free. Do you really think that he's gonna resign? Oh fuck no. I mean, after killing all the old people because he sent a bunch of COVID people to no. Now, all right, I will. I'm not going to give him the benefit of the doubt because I'm positive he's a scumbag piece of shit. But in his statement, he said, if you took my playful flirting wrong, I'm sorry. That's victim blaming. And again, he should be canceled, killed, whatever the liberals do. But no, he's on your team, so we all circle the wagons and protect him. But as for that, so if what he really did was just verbal flirting that someone took the wrong way, part of me says fuck you to the complainers. Because if you come to work and he says you look nice today and you're offended and pissed off about that, get your shit together. I'm sorry, that's not sexual harassment. If he was more vulgar, like, hey, I'd like to stoink you, maybe. But again, I'm a firm believer of sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. So, if he just said things, yeah, you're probably a piece of shit, but it's not that bad. Now, if there was touching involved, or some people said that he forced himself on you to kiss you on the lips, yes, that is sexual harassment. That is wrong. But nothing's gonna happen to him because he's on your side and y'all did this. But yeah, if he just said, hey, you look real nice today, I'd like to take you on a date, and you got offended and had a shit fit, then that's on you. It's not, again, I'm not like saying, if you dress hoary, rapes on you, because it's not. But I mean, it's like at a bar, if some guy comes up to you and starts chatting you up, that's not sexual harassment. That's just how shit works. And then if it offends you, walk away. Don't report him, just walk away. But if the guy at the bar is, like groping you inappropriately or something, that is definitely sexual harassment. And I don't condone that at all. But aggressively talking to a woman, I mean, come on. We got to get away from this pansy shit because nobody actually wants a sissy for a boyfriend. Some guy that comes up to you and is like, hey, I'd like to speak to you. Is that okay with you? Can you please sign this release? No, and I mean, that's where we're at, unfortunately, but that is not the way that this works or should work. And if you're offended by that, don't go out. Stay in your fucking house. You're ruining it for everyone else. Um, yeah, but if he touched them and things like that, and he physically sexually assaulted them, great. And yes, there can be verbal sexual assault, but you really gotta go somewhere. Oh, the other thing that's really gonna piss you off is if he was verbally sexually assaulting you, I would have said just fucking leave. But you'll be like, oh, but Dutch, I can't find another job. You could have found another job other than Governor Cuomo's office. Okay, if it was McDonald's, I would probably buy it a little more that you could not find another job. Because maybe the McDonald's manager is brothers with the Burger King or the Wendy's manager. But no. This was not like a forced job that you had to take. You chose to take this job, and you should have known this guy was a piece of shit. I mean, look at him, look at his brother. This was a pedigree of pieces of shit. And if you didn't think this was going to happen, we're only talking about verbal, then you're stupid. And when the verbal stuff did happen, you should have reported it immediately and left. And if you felt like you were trapped and you couldn't get out, and again, this was not like an entry-level position, you could have. Okay? I don't condone it, but some of this, if it was verbal, is on you. Now, if it was physical, it's not. Fuck him. He's a piece of shit. I mean, he is, whether it was physical or verbal or not. He's a piece of shit. But come on, we gotta have some lines here. Like, everything that makes you uncomfortable is not sexual harassment. Just like everything that makes black people uncomfortable is not racist or anything. Just because you're uncomfortable doesn't mean that you're right or it's a fact or anything like that. Let's see. So yeah, Como's piece of shit, and that kind of ties into what is today's super special day. It is Women's History Month. I'm not familiar with this. If you are, enlighten me, please. At Dutch the Beast, at Dutch in Denver, no I, just the N. That's on the Twitter. Our email is bushwookiesofdoom@gmail.com too, if you want to email us, because I think you can get more hate in there. But yeah, today is the first day of Women's History Month. And I, along with others, so I'm not taking credit for this, but I am going to talk about it. I mean, I think we should cancel it, because what about people who are men and identify as women? Do they still get considered for Women's History Month? Of course they do, because we have to include everybody. Or if you were a woman who later identifies as a man. Wait, yeah, perfect. Is the Jenner guy? Oh, Bruce Jenner? I don't know what his chick name is now. I'll think of it. I've been drinking. Okay, so is Bruce Jenner now part of Women's History Month? I mean, he's a woman now, or she's a woman now. I don't know. Great Olympian. Do we chalk that up to the women or the men? You can't have it both ways. One way or another. Either Bruce Jenner is now a woman and he gets lumped in with Women's History Month, or he's not and Women's History Month doesn't exist. Let me know. And this ties into so many other things. So I was watching the Avs game. Let's see, maybe Monday, Sunday, probably yesterday, and they had the Avs babe who, I don't know what her name is, but she does like little cut comedy, or it's not comedy, but cut reporting in between commercials or whatever. And the story that they gave her, and I hope she didn't pick this story, because if she did, again, it's on you. But It was, who is the new locker room DJ? The irrelevance of that question is beyond astonishing. And the fact that it was relegated to a female reporter, that her job was to go find who's the new guy who plays music in the Avalanche locker room, that's fucking stupid. Who cares about that? And that's not making a name for women. That's relegating them to, the corner where how do you take that shit seriously? Really? I mean, I'm not sure you can. Even more. So, just an example, the WNBA compared to the NBA. The NBA stands for National Basketball Association, I do believe. So there's no gender involved in that. But the WNBA is specific for the Women's National Basketball Association, I believe. How is that not sexist? I mean, should the NBA be the MNBA, the Men's National Basketball Association? Fuck no, because there's a dramatic line between the two. And, a whole other can of worms that I can't even get into, or I don't. Yeah, no, we are actually. Is the House passed the unity or the equality bill or whatever that says men and women are no different. So if you're a dude who identifies as a woman, you can join UFC and just start beating women. I mean, there's no difference. So, if you're in the NBA, just identify as a woman, you go play in the WNBA and you can dominate. No one will watch you because like 6 people watch that. But this has more ramifications, and this is the bill I'm talking about. It has more ramifications than just sports. So think of it this way. If you were entering a battered women's shelter and if you go for psychological help or you just want to talk to someone and you have to talk to a guy who identifies as a woman, what the fuck? Am I the only one that thinks that that's insane? Am I the only one that thinks that's absolutely fucking crazy? Or if I get sent to prison and I identify as a woman, I go to a women's prison. So I'm the one dude in a women's prison and my cellmate is locked in there with me for 20 hours a day. Does anyone else see a problem with that? Or am I the only one that just thinks that that's nuts? I think London did it. They were the first ones to implement that. And they let some dude in the women's prison, he raped like 2 people. I mean, again, to quote a movie or something, I feel like I'm taking fucking crazy pills. Imagine being a mother or a father. I'm sorry, what do we call them now? Breastfeeders or chest feeders or people who bleed versus people who don't bleed, whatever. And I'm at, my daughter's lacrosse game, and there's some dude out there just busting heads who identifies as a woman. I mean, I'm gonna probably take a swing at that kid. Then I'm not gonna watch my daughter get beat up because some confused fuck has decided that he wants to play women's sports. Do we not see the issues there, or does it really not matter? And this is a 100% liberal thing, that you were that crazy that you believe this, that it's good for. I mean, do we not care? Is it just about advancing the platform and the narrative that, if some women get beat along the way, so be it? Again, let's go back to UFC. I've seen some of these UFC guys. I don't like UFC myself. I think it's silly. But, if one of those heavyweights in the UFC identifies as a woman and goes in and fights women, are we going to be okay with that? just as long as we get paid, the pay-per-view gets whatever. I mean, it's fucking crazy. I don't get it. And if you are in favor of this, or you have a different take than I do, please find me on Twitter at Dutch the Beast, at Dutch in Denver, no I, or email bushwookiesofdoom@gmail.com and talk to me. I will have a calm and collected discussion with you about this. Because from where I sit or stand, it seems absolutely fucking crazy. And I can't see any justification. Even like a crazy one, like, well, we need to take care of the disenfranchised. I can't see it. It's nuts to me. But if you have a difference of opinion and you can articulate your point without, being like, you're a racist or a sexist. I'm not a sexist. I love women. Trust me. I love women more than any of you do. But I don't want to relegate them to, being just an ambiguous whatever. Because that's what we're doing. I mean, there's no difference between men and women anymore, apparently. Everybody's all the same, he wants to be she and she wants to be he and blah, blah, blah. We just mix them all together and, when the dust settles, we'll show up. Fuck that. There's a huge difference between men and women. Women are sexy, beautiful creatures, and they're smart, they're caring, they're compassionate, they're great. I don't want to date a dude. I mean, I like hanging out with dudes, drinking beers and stuff, but I don't want to date one. They're not, we have beards, and there's a staunch, obvious difference between the two, and the left is taking that away. They're taking away the identity of both genders. And I stand by the fact that there's only two. Okay, you have X and Y chromosomes, whatever. You have chromosomes. Like, you can fix that. How you think is different, and I can get behind that. And if you think differently, we can address that with psychological help. But that doesn't, again, it doesn't make you right. Science dictated. That's the other funny thing that is just insane to me. The follow the science crowd is the one doing this. So the whole COVID thing, just follow the science, listen to the science, wear 9 masks, COVID's horrible, blah, blah, blah. No, it's not. You're stupid. And men and women are different. And they each have unique attributes that are wonderful to this world. And to muddy those waters and lump them in together and just say, hey, if you're a dude and you want to be a chick, fine. Go play field hockey with them and kick their asses. It's not fair. And I'm the last person to be talking about fair, because I don't think life is fair. But it's not right. That's a better way to say it. It's not right. You can't put men and women in a boxing ring together and be like, all right, go ahead. He says, Billy over there says he's Brittany, so prepare to get your ass whipped. And I can't see anything other than it's fucking crazy. So then all Women's History Month is completely lost all meaning and everything, because you just have to identify as a man or a woman, and you just get lumped in with that month or that celebration or that sporting event, or I don't know. It's absolutely fucking crazy. There's no other way to point. Completely batshit whack job crazy. And we'll tie this in with stupid tweets later, because I forgot last week for the Friday night, but we'll do stupid tweets this week, because we have some good ones. Okay, let's see. Contrary to what Batman said, I did prepare. I have a list over here. So this is only for the locals, but it will be interesting for anyone listening who's not local. Again, I live in Denver, Colorado. It's a state. It's in the United States for anybody who listens in a foreign country. And we have schools, and then, there's a school board and there's a director and of school boards, and it's a bunch of bureaucratic bullshit. But we have a young gentleman on the Denver Public School Board of Directors, and his name is Tay Anderson. And he's 22. He is black. Not that that's, well, it is relevant because he uses it to further whatever nonsense he's peddling that day. But Tay Anderson is a race baiting scumbag. Like, this guy is a whore for the camera. He has faked injuries. You know, he like falls down by himself, calls ambulances, goes to the hospital, does a TikTok, YouTube video from the hospital, like, white people push me down. And there's 100 videos that say, no, you just fell. He does nothing for the school board. He just uses it to get out there and further his wacko agenda. But he is an elected official, so people in Denver did vote for him. I think they know they made a huge mistake. Because, again, the guy is just, he's like who's the white guy who pretends to be black? Sean White, or he's on Twitter, he wears glasses, short hair. Sean something, maybe. I don't know, you guys know who I'm talking about. Sean King. So, he does everything in his power to stir shit up. Well, this weekend. Now, remember, this guy is on the school board of directors for Denver Public Schools. This is an elected, unpaid position. So yes, he was elected by his constituents, but he doesn't get paid for this. And I'm pretty sure he lives in like a downtown loft. Downtown lofts in Denver are super expensive. Where he gets his money from, I mean, we all know, but we just shouldn't say it because speaking engagements and making shit up for a living can be expensive and pay well. All right, so this guy, he's 22, he's a black guy. He has this thing that he wears his hat backwards, kind of like Dutchie does, in his suit, you know, and just all this bullshit. This weekend, he announces that he announces that he is going to be a father. And he is going to, he made a point that it's going to be a beautiful baby black boy named Khalil or something like that. Congratulations, dude. You got a big job ahead of you. Parenting is no joke. Not that I know about it, but I might. We might talk about that later down the road. But yeah, it's no joke, man. It is, it's a big deal. So he makes this announcement, and it's like some stupid fucking video that he wrote a letter to his kid. I didn't listen to it because I knew what it was going to be. Just, I'm going to do my best to not grow up racist, blah, 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 racist. The world's going to blah, 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 blah. So then two things. Number one, in this announcement, he provided a link to his, I want to say Target baby registry, which basically says, hey, here's a list of shit I need you to buy me. In itself, quite innocent. If I did it, if I, was saying, hey, I'm going to have a child and here's my registry, great. But I'm just Dutch in Denver. I'm not an elected official, which is essentially soliciting gifts and or bribes. I mean, just the ethics are so clearly fucked on this, and no one gives a shit. Nobody on his team gives a shit. They're just like, oh yeah, we'll get you diapers, we'll get you everything. But I mean, ethically, and I'm not totally versed on the laws of the Denver Public School Board of Directors since it's a non-paying job. I don't know how that works. But if he was any other elected official, like a senator, you definitely can't do that shit. You cannot solicit gifts because you're a senator from your constituents. That's ethically and morally, it's wrong. So Tay went ahead and did that. And again, so ethically, completely fucked. Secondly, if you're going to have a kid, you should probably have a job that pays you something. Like, I mean, kids are expensive. Again, I don't have any, but my brother has two. Him and his wife, I hear kids are expensive. Daycare's expensive. Diapers, food, shit, toys, clothes, all that. It's expensive. And, luckily, my brother and his wife both have jobs that pay them actual money. Tay does not. So we can talk about the fundamentals of it was probably a poor decision to bring another life into this world when you don't have a way to support it other than begging for donations on Twitter as an elected official, which is a shit thing to do. Again, it's fucking crazy. And then everybody who's like, "Ah, dude, not a good look." They're all like, "Oh, you're just a racist fuck." And it's like, no one said anything about race. If it was a white guy who did this, I would be just as mad about it. And I'm not really mad because I wouldn't give that idiot a dime, but I know people will. And I mean, again, congratulations to having a child. I think that's great. I hope you do well with him. I totally doubt you will, because this will bring me into my second point in a minute. But come on, have a job that pays money, so you can go buy things for your child. I just looked at the video. It looks like I'm looking up, but I'm really not. I just think the cameras, we'll get this all worked out. But okay, so the second point about Tay is, I don't know if I mentioned her before, but one of the talk radio personalities I listen to, her name is Mandy Connell. She's in Denver. Most of the time she's great. I like her. She's entertaining, not always political, just fun. Well, she responded on Twitter something like, "Hey, I hope you're also preparing a wedding registry, to marry your son's baby mama." She said baby mama, not me. And, have a nuclear family because statistics, and I'm paraphrasing a lot of this, but, statistics show that kids do better in a nuclear family. Holy fuck. I don't get involved in this stuff anymore because I basically use Twitter for traffic updates and like breaking news and sports. But I saw this tweet and I saw the comments just growing with people that were so angry. I don't know how they function. I mean, again, Manny got hit with the racist stuff and she said nothing about race. All she stated was facts, and these are facts. You can look them up. I don't feel like I have to provide them for you. A, I'm not that prepared, and B, you could do it on your own and probably help you a little bit. But statistics show that children are much better off in a nuclear family, with a mom and a dad. And some people are like, "Don't you're a homophobe, mom." Okay, maybe two dads still are better than one dad, or two moms are better than one mom. But definitely, children raised in a two-parent home do better than children raised in a single-parent home. These are fucking facts. And again, if you're offended, I'm sorry, but just because you're offended doesn't make you right. You're just offended. So she points this out, and the amount of people that jumped on her, again, for being a racist or crazy or whatever, it's astonishing to me. And this will be more of the stupid tweets coming up. But if you anything a Republican posts or a conservative posts, go look at the comments. And the amount of crazy in there is astonishing. I mean, people were they were trying to crucify Manny for just literally stating a fact. And it never crossed anybody's mind that, yeah, maybe you should get married before you have kids. I mean, you obviously thought, not even sure you've thought far enough ahead about this, but let's just for shits and giggles. You thought this person was important enough to give yourself to sexually. And I know that's a little bit mushy, but I mean, that's what sex is. It's to procreate. And we've changed it. And trust me, I'm just as guilty of the rest of you of doing it because it's nice and it's fun and it is really good sometimes. But, you know, if we want to come down to it, it is for procreation. And this was a decision that both parties made, and a child has spawned from this. But you don't want to be together? And I could be wrong. They might want to get married, but it's just that there was no mention of that. It was just, here's some dumbass letter I wrote to my kid. That was probably super, you know, you're going to be fucked because you're black and blah, 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 and all that crap. And then, oh yeah, here's my gift registry. Go buy me things because I don't have a job that pays me any money. That's nuts to me. It's absolutely crazy. They crushed Mandy over this. Now, she said today on her show, because I did listen to it, that she, you know, talked through with a bunch of people who were angry at what she said, and mainly it's because they were single parents or raised by single parents. And yes, we will all have anomalies. But the fact of the matter is the kids are better off in a two-parent home. And I don't know what's the bigger deal. This guy just going off on that. And then, you know, the Kyle Clark, that little bitch. Let's not get into him. You can Google him, find him on the Twitter. We'll talk about him later. But he's one of those, like, you know, Commie Kyle or Comrade Kyle, whatever you want to call him, who just, like, piles on and runs away. And his little, like, Twitter minions who literally just wait for him to tweet somebody's bullshit. Because he's done it to me. Yep, lonely old Dutch in Denver. He's done it to me. And then his little minions just pile on with ridiculous garbage. But he jumped in, and then, you know, Mandy got piled on even more. But she's not wrong. And that's the whole thing. Factually, she's correct. Children do better in a two-parent home. She said it kind of snarky, but I think it was spot on. It wasn't mean. It wasn't anything. But, hey, man, you know, if you're going to have a kid, I hope you're getting married, too. That is just a statement of fact. I mean, she probably should add, I hope you get a job that actually pays money, but I think Ross took care of that. Ross Kaminsky's another one I listen to, except he's very flippy floppy. Not as good, but I'm not plugging these other people's shows. Fuck them. Mandy, I'll plug her. She's fun. But yeah, it's just the nonsense about this and how it became, no one said anything about race, but the left, and he is super duper left. They made it about race. And that goes back to my point that, you know, the true racists are the ones that find race where it's not. She didn't say anything about it. No one said anything about race, and everybody just called her racist. And the people who responded in her favor, I was one of them, I was called a racist too, which I'm fine with that. And we're all fine with that because we know it's not true. And we know that I'm making a salient point when you go to race. Because if my point was off or wrong, you would discuss the point. And I mean you as in the left. You would discuss the point. But when the point is correct and salient and intelligent and well articulated, you automatically attack me. You're a Nazi, you're a racist. But that's all you got. Because you know I'm right. And you know Mandy's right. And you know everybody else is right. But the only thing you have to do is fall back on, well, you're a racist. Fuck you. Okay, so we'll follow this closely. Let's lighten up. Actually, probably won't get any lighter because I'm just as pissed off as this as about everything else. Baseball is back. And while I am Dutch and Denver, I am a huge, huge diehard Cardinals fan. Um, my dad's side of the family is from St. Louis. I was raised a Cardinals fan. I'm old enough that the Cardinals were my team before the Rockies even showed up, and I was able to understand baseball and comprehend it and things like that. So, I'm a Cardinals fan. I love them. I love baseball more than any other sport. I really do. I'm done with football. We've been over this. The political shit. Baseball did a little bit of political stuff, but hockey, baseball are my thing. Baseball is 1,000 times better than anything else. I love it. It's back. We're spring training games. Super looking forward to. So I think it was Sunday morning. I had breakfast. What do we have? Waffles? No. Kodiak cakes, protein pancakes. You guys got to get these. They're called Kodiak cakes, and they got a shitload of protein. You get them at Sam's, I think, or Target, or Target is French for Target. You get them. They're in a black box. They're delicious pancakes. They are healthy pancakes, but they don't taste like healthy pancakes. So we had the protein cakes, mimosas, stuff like that. Got around to the Cardinals game. Flip it on. I'm paying attention. It's baseball. It's good to be back. It is spring training. Flurry's up there throwing stuff. And then I was either listening or, I don't know, I got distracted. But it turns out that, it's strike him out, throw him out, and the inning's over. Well, it turns out that the inning wasn't over. It was a walk and a throw him out. So that only left 2 outs. But if the pitcher threw more than 20 pitches, you just call it an inning. I was very confused by this. Dad was too, calling Dad, be like, hey man, what happened? I don't know. Alright, you're old, you clearly don't know. Let me Google this. So up on the old interwebs, actually DuckDuckGo. Use DuckDuckGo. They don't trace you like Google does. And they don't forge the results or fudge them. So one of the spring training rules is you can turn over an inning as long as the pitcher has thrown 20 pitches and the current at-bat has been completed. This is how I understand it. I could be wrong. But if your pitcher's throwing 20 pitches and the bases are loaded and there's no outs and the guy at the plate strikes out and gives you 1 out, you can say, let's just call it an inning. The defensive manager. You just say, let's call it an inning. So all the guys on base go to the dugout, the other team bats, and you come back to the inning, and the pitcher who was getting whacked can come back out and pitch, because that's what happened to the Cardinals. They weren't getting whacked, but, I'm going to sneeze. I'll keep talking as much. Excuse me. I don't have a dump button. I'll figure one out, though. So the Cardinals weren't getting, whacked, but they just, innings over. Yeah, he's thrown enough. Let's move on. That's not baseball. And I know it's spring training, but we got to get some resemblance of normalcy and normal baseball. Get your ass up there, get your 3 outs, and go to the dugout and bat. And it's even... I'm not in favor of this rule at all. I think it's fucking stupid, and I think Rob Manfred is a piece of shit. I will never like that man. What he's done to this game. And yeah, we can talk more about this. But, alright, so call the inning. Okay, our pitcher's had enough. We want to save his arm. It's all about safety, blah, blah, blah. You can't bring him out the next fucking inning. No. If you're going to concede an inning and just say, 2 outs, let's just, let's turn it over and call it an inning, you can't bring him back out. He needs game situation stuff. Who get to, no. Dumb. The second thing, apparently the managers call each other up like the night before and be like, hey man, how many innings you want to play today? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 5? Okay, 5, sure. So tomorrow's game is only 5 innings. Spring training, no man, play a full game. But go through your roster, play everybody, see who you got on the bench, see what kind of catchers you have, see what kind of pitchers, see what the third string first baseman's like. But no, call them up and be like, yeah, how many you want to play tomorrow? 5? Let's do 5. Stupid. And again, I was so happy baseball's back. I love baseball. I really do. I mean, it's a big part of my life. And it just, what Manfred is doing to it is ruining it. This trying to shorten the game times. I know you want to attract more fans, but a slugfest is not baseball. It's a joke. A pitching duel is baseball, and those games take time. Sometimes, perfect games, real quick. But I'd much rather see a 1-0 game, a 2-1 game, a 2-0 low-scoring pitchers duels than a 15-14 game that, went 10 innings or something. I don't want to see that. I don't care about home runs. I care about strikeouts. That's much better. And if you're, handcuffing these pitchers that, you have to pitch the full inning, or you have to face 3 batters, and the intentional walks, you don't actually have to throw them. Bullshit. Yes, you need to throw those 4 pitches, because that's 4 pitches to your pitch count. And, 4 pitches is a big deal when you're throwing as hard as some of these MLB guys do. I mean, pitching is very tough. It is physically demanding. They work incredibly hard to throw that ball 100 miles an hour and locate it. And for you to give them a break, the difference between 90 and 100 pitches is huge. But in baseball, that's just 2 artificial walks. And you can only go out to the mound so many times. Fuck that. You should be able to go out to the mound as many times as you want and talk that kid down. Or set up a defense with that veteran pitcher. These are the intricacies of baseball that I love. It's like Yogi Berra said. I think he said baseball's like 80% mental, the other half is physical. It's a yogiism, but it's so true. It's an extremely complex game. And if you don't get it, you don't get it. And if you think baseball games are too long, you don't get it. And you're not who I want. Go watch other games. You want to short a baseball game? I'll tell you, I'll stop reviewing shit. Easy. It's been proven that umpires like 99% right. So they fuck up 1 or 2. Jesus, the NFL screws up stuff 9 times a game, and they have replay. Like, the replay literally shows a touchdown. I'm like, no touchdown. Nope. Fuck that. Get rid of the review process. Part of baseball is the human error. And it's like balls and strikes. I never want a computer doing that. I want an umpire doing it. And what you need to do is adapt to that umpire. You need to understand that, hey, this guy calls low strikes, so start swinging at low pitches. You can not worry about the top of the zone because he doesn't call there. Hey, this guy calls inside, so start hitting the ball when it's pitched inside. Okay? Adapt. Now, that does speak to some umpires. That consistency is a big thing with me. If you're going to call balls that are out of the zone strikes, you better call every low and away a strike. And if you do that, fine. If you call everything in the dirt a strike, great. Now we know and we can adapt. So if you're a consistent umpire, I'm totally on board with whatever you want to call. Also, I think we should go back to the old way. Top of the knees, bottom of the pits. That's the strike zone. This belt to knee shit, fuck off. That's Rob Manfred again. Just fucking the game I love up. And again, I wanted to be so happy about baseball. But then the changes are just, you're ruining this. We ruin football. Football's for pussies now. You can't touch anyone on the offense or it's a targeting or a penalty or fuck me. You can't tackle them anymore. And I get it. You don't want concussions. I also understand you're getting, like $20 million a year, so if you get thumped in the head, fucking deal with it. Or, I mean, my argument too is, do you want to get rid of concussions in the NFL? Take away their fucking helmets. Serious. Rugby, Australian football, all that crap, they have very little concussions because those guys don't lead with their heads like morons. They tackle with their shoulders, their arms, and they use their legs to drive them down. There's very few concussions. They don't wear any helmets at all. And those guys are right. Take their fucking helmets away. They won't be spearing each other then. They won't be running across the middle, leading with their head into somebody else's head. And if they do, they'll blow their heads up. There'll be blood everywhere. We'll love it, and fuck them. They're stupid. Also, you got $20 million this year. So, you know what? Some risks need to be taken. But, it's been translated to baseball. No collisions at the plate anymore. Horrible rule. Second base. Can't take out second baseman or shortstop anymore. Why? Move. That runner has every right to that bag. And if he slides a little bit left or right, fine. Maybe he's going with a hook slide where he's going to grab it with his hand. Great. Now, if he's totally out of the baseline on the grass, taking people out, get it, got it. That's always been a rule. But if there's a collision at second, it's up to the defensive player, infield or shortstop or second, to get out of the way. Also, bring back the vicinity rule, because back in the day, it used to be like, hey, if shortstop was close to the bag and just dragged his foot and then threw it first, you were still out. And that eliminated that problem. But now it's no collisions. You have to be right on. But no, quit fucking with baseball. It's America's pastime, and I don't care what you say. It is America's pastime. Football is not. Fuck football. When it comes to baseball, fuck football. Okay? It's America's pastime. It's been around for 100 years. If you think the games are too long or boring or you don't get it and it's not for you. Not everything is for you. Some people don't like tennis. It's because you don't get tennis. It's not for you. Go watch football and basketball. That's simple. A fucking idiot can get that. I'm not saying people watch football and basketball are fucking idiots. But you know what I mean. I like that baseball is slow and methodical. I like the mental element of it. I love that the games are 4 and 5 hours. I can take a nap in between. I still have the sound on. I can hear when something happens. I wake up, pay attention. And I'm there for the first, the middle, and the last. Okay? But, here we are quoting more Denver guys. There's a guy in Denver, I think he's literally irrelevant now. But his name's D-Mac, and I'm not even sure he's still on. But he's one of those ones like, oh yeah, baseball's boring. Fuck you, it's not. You're stupid, and you're ruining this. And how this guy gets a voice on, I don't know, he's part of the Broncos 365 24/7 radio station where they literally talk about the Broncos always. And I used to like football. I used to like the Broncos. I still didn't want to hear about them 24/7. Like I mean, if your whole life revolves around anything other than like your jobs, your kids, your wife, fuck off. Okay? My life doesn't revolve around the Cardinals. I really love them. But I don't want to hear about the Cardinals in January. Maybe it's getting close to spring training, but in December, no. I'm on to basketball, or used to be basketball and football. I like all sports, okay? And I want to hear about the sports a little bit before the season, as we gear up for the season. I'd like to hear it during the season, and then maybe a little after the season. But when it's completely, I don't give a fuck about the high school prospects that the Denver Broncos might have after this kid goes to college, maybe transfers in the draft. No, fuck that. I'm not that into it. I do not care. And if you are, you need a fucking life. I'm sorry, you do. Because your sports teams are not your life. Your family, your job and stuff are your life. Okay, so yeah, baseball, damn it, it's just, they've ruined it. It's still great to watch, though. It was nice to see Arenado as a Cardinal. He did nothing. Like 2 strikeouts and an error. think it was better to just see him because it pisses Rockies fans off. It's good to see Yachty back. I love Yachty. And if you're one of the people that don't think Yachty's the best catcher, you're also a moron. Wayno's back. He didn't pitch. Flaherty pitched. Flaherty pitched all right. He just it was tough. I mean, clearly spring training goes to the hitter always, just because the pitchers aren't dialed in, and it's much easier to dial in hitting on a stagnant pitcher than it is anything else. So, and you get some guys, some second and third string guys that you get to see, hey, if center field gets hurt, what do we have? It's nice to see. I mean, spring's here. Well, it's not here in Colorado. We got a long, long time. But again, it is really nice to watch baseball, and I hope that it's not too affected by COVID, despite the announcers who are like, oh, we still need to. Fuck, we don't need to do anything anymore. Christ, we gotta realize that this shit was all made up. COVID wasn't made up. It's still dangerous, but the panic was. Okay. It's great to watch baseball. I'm very excited for it. We'll see how it goes. We'll talk some Cardinals baseball. Kyle's a Cardinals fan. Well, he says he is. I'd love to get some Rockies fans on, but I don't think they'd show their face because after what they did, how their owners did them dirty, it's not that much fun. I don't want any Cubs fans because I fucking hate the Cubs and the Reds, but we'll talk baseball. Okay. Oh, stupid tweets. Let's wrap this up quick. So, it was last week, and I didn't get to it, and this may only string a chord with some of us, but this tweet came from Barstool Sports, those guys. Usually, they're pretty harmless. Some of it's funny. I don't follow them, but people retweet them, and I see it's like, yeah, that's funny stuff. So, but they have this, a short video, which is a collection of clips, and the clips is this guy playing video games and his dog's begging to play with him. And then he's playing video games, the dog's begging somewhere else. And it's a montage of this same guy playing video games on different days while the dog begs to play. And I don't know, it was some stupid caption. Let me see if I actually have it. I might not have actually done it when I should have, which I probably didn't. Yeah, no, I didn't. But it was just a dumb caption of this guy, completely ignoring his dog to play video games. Some of us would see that as funny or... No, dipshit. If you're too busy to play with your dog and you'd rather play video games, I don't like you. I'm sorry, I don't. My dog comes number one. I'm never too busy to play with him. Now, sometimes he does irritate me because he does this thing where he chases shadows. Yeah, we can get into that later. But I'm never too busy to play with him. I especially am not playing video games and he's sitting there begging, bringing me toys and nudging me and stuff. And and I know the sentiment was there and you try to be funny, but you're not funny. That's just stupid because A, that never happened. And B, if you're too busy playing video games to play with your dog, fuck you. And I truly stand by that. You should never be too busy for your dog. Because I tell you what, your dog's never been too busy for you. Have you ever gotten home after so you leave and then you come back 2 minutes later because you forgot something? Your dog spazzes out because he is so happy to see you after 2 minutes. And you can't be bothered to put the controller down and play with your dog, you fuck. I'm pretty sure it's a golden retriever too. One of my favorites, Labs and Goldens. It missed. I know you thought it would be a funny tweet. It wasn't. So shame on you, Barstool. Love your dogs. Play with your dogs. I love mine. We play all the time. He's nuts. I like him. We hang out. But I don't put, video games or anything over him. The other night I missed half the Avs game playing with him. He was on the TV and, I glance up every while. But we were playing tug, we were doing stuff. Because that's what you do with a dog. Man's best friend. Why don't you be dog's best friend, Barstool, you fucking tools? I didn't mean that aggressively. Oh, and then stupid tweets too. We'll just, for lastly, just find any conservative tweet and look at the comments that the liberals post. That'll be your homework for the weekend. I hate to give you guys homework, and I'm just looking for one that maybe. And we gotta wrap this up too because the Avs are almost on for a super late game that I won't make it through. But yeah, just any tweet that any conservative posts, just go and see the crazy left responses. It'll be fucking hilarious. It'll also be maddening and saddening because you'll just be like, what the yeah, that's all we got this tonight. I appreciate you guys listening as always. Find us on the interwebs at Dutch the Beast, at Dutch in Denver. No I. We're on YouTube. I do post these on YouTube so you can get the video if you like seeing my pretty face. We're at anchor.fm. Like, subscribe, support, share with your friends. Send us money. Send us bras. Send us beers. Whatever you want to do that, to support us because we need your support. Well, I'm nothing without you guys. And I truly appreciate everyone who listens, everyone who comments, everyone who interacts. Let's make this a national thing, an international thing. And hey, we'll catch you guys next time. Go Avs. Bye.